Soil that looks tired, cracked, silent, and stubborn can make any gardener feel the weight of defeat. Yet beneath that hardened surface lies a truth that changes everything. The soil is not dead, only waiting. Waiting for life to return, waiting for breath beneath its crust, waiting for someone patient enough to trust nature's slow but unstoppable rebuilding. What you're about to rediscover isn't just a method, it's a revival, a quiet awakening that brings soil back to full strength without heavy tools, without costly amendments, and without exhausting the very gardener who loves it. The transformation begins with something unexpectedly simple: charcoal. Not high-tech fertilizers, not store-bought biochar, but humble charcoal, broken, soaked, and brought back to life with microbes that multiply faster than you can see. The beauty of this ancient approach lies not only in its effectiveness, but in its gentleness. It doesn't require digging until your hands ache, turning compost piles week after week, or buying materials that promise results but deliver disappointment. Instead, it works with the rhythm nature has always trusted: life growing quietly, invisibly, and beautifully beneath the surface. Season after season, many gardeners watch their soil shift from fertile to hardened, from rich to resistant. And when plants sprout but refuse to thrive, the frustration deepens. It can feel like the garden is giving up. But what has really faded isn't the soil itself, it's the living network inside it. The microbe communities that once built structure, transported nutrients, and held water in place slowly disappear under the stresses of heat, chemical inputs, and compaction. That community must return for soil to feel alive again. And that return happens when millions of microbes are given protected homes, the porous chambers inside charcoal. Charcoal does what no fertilizer can. It doesn't dissolve, doesn't wash away, doesn't break down within a single season. Instead, it stays in place year after year, holding microscopic life inside its tiny tunnels. Each pore becomes a shelter, a nursery, and a fortress for beneficial microbes. They multiply there safely, shielded from heat waves, heavy rains, and sudden cold spells. Then, slowly and steadily, they spread outward into the soil, colonizing spaces that have been empty for far too long. This is not surface feeding, this is structural rebuilding from the inside out. Preparing this microbe-rich charcoal mixture is as intuitive as it is low cost. A handful of charcoal, broken into pieces no larger than pebbles, becomes the foundation. Water free of chlorine becomes the activation environment. Compost or aged manure becomes the spark of life. Within a week, a bucket that looked still and quiet turns into a thriving microbial metropolis. Tiny bubbles along the edges, a light earthy scent, and a soft film across the surface show that invisible life has awakened. No daily stirring, no temperature control, no trouble, just time and trust. When that mixture meets the soil, a quiet revolution begins. Instead of forcing growth, you invite it. Instead of breaking open clay by force, you soften it through microbial architecture. Soil begins to absorb water rather than resisting it. Earthworms return, sensing the revival. Roots stretch deeper, no longer blocked by dense walls of lifeless dirt. You may not see dramatic change above ground in the first few days, but the rebuilding beneath is constant, steady, and unstoppable. For gardeners who have loved their beds for decades, this method offers relief instead of strain. No heavy lifting, no kneeling for hours, no turning soil that has become stubborn with age. It asks for gentleness both to the earth and to the gardener. A light loosening of the top layer, a sprinkle of compost, a scattering of microbe-charged charcoal, then water, patience, and presence. The soil takes care of the rest. Stories from seasoned gardeners show just how powerful and universal this approach is. Soil hardened to the texture of pottery becomes soft and crumbly. Beds plagued by disease begin to heal. Sandy soils finally hold moisture long enough for roots to drink deeply. Containers once depleted grow herbs lush enough to scent an entire patio. It is not the force of gardening that produces these results. It is the reintroduction of life on its own terms. Across regions, climates, and soil types, microbes are the common denominator. They rebuild clay by opening channels for air. They stabilize sand by holding water in place. They protect roots during heat spells and prevent nutrients from washing away during storms. This method works because it restores the very foundation of soil health rather than painting fertility on the surface. It lasts not for one season, but for many to come. As gardening evolves with age, the rhythm changes from urgency to intention. Instead of rushing through tasks, gardeners begin to notice subtleties. How soil feels between the fingers, how leaves deepen in color when the underground is thriving, how much less effort is needed once balance is restored. Gardening becomes not an act of conquering nature, but of partnering with it. Charcoal inoculation isn't just a technical fix. It is a collaboration with time, microorganisms, weather, and the ancient intelligence of the earth. There is a quiet emotional restoration that mirrors the soil's recovery. Watching life return to something that once looked barren offers a reminder. Growth never disappears completely, it only waits for the right invitation. Just as soil remembers years of drought and heavy sun, it also remembers rain, nourishment, and renewal. And when its microscopic citizens return, its memory of fertility awakens. This method is more than sustainable, it is enduring. It replaces the cycle of constant amendment with a single act that continues to serve the garden long after the work is done. Once charcoal is alive with microbes, it keeps them housed, fed, and multiplying. With each season, you add less and observe more. Soil begins to breathe again, roots begin to trust the earth again, and the garden becomes a place of ease rather than labor. By the time new seedlings stretch their first leaves, the transformation below has been well underway. Earthworms tunnel through softened ground, fungal networks stretch like thin threads of silver, and moisture lingers in the soil far longer than before. The ground, once exhausted, begins functioning not as dirt, but as an ecosystem. A living, balanced, resilient system that protects plants rather than challenging them. Gardens are not meant to be forced into growth, they are meant to be encouraged back to life. A handful of charcoal, a week of quiet fermentation, and a gentle scattering across the beds may look simple, but simplicity has always been nature's most powerful design. You are not fixing soil, you are inviting it to recover. And when it does, every leaf, every root, every blossom will speak the same message. Life returns when given space to breathe.